So we are going live.
Yeah, sure. So, will you be introducing me, or should I start it from scratch with from my side only completely?
So I will be introducing, giving an introduction to you, and
Okay.
then you can start with.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FYI with WIE 3.0. Technical skills required for good product based companies and preparation for its interviews is more about hacking the technologies and interview process to achieve it. In this event, our guest speaker, Mr. Rishikesh Suslade, STE at Amazon, will enrich all of us with the necessary technical skills required, along with guidance on preparation of these technical topics for product based companies, interviews, and further applications in the technical industry. It's our pleasure to have such a great personality like Mr. Shishlade in our event with us today. Mr. Shishlade is currently a STE at Amazon. He is a popular face among student community for his tech blogs, informational and tutorial videos, and mentor guidance for software developers. He is also the author of A to Z placement guide for software developers. Almost 5,000 plus copies of the book have been grabbed till now. Thank you, sir, for taking the time out from your busy schedule for us. We are eagerly looking forward towards your session. So you may take over.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you, IEEE Women in Engineering, VIT Vellore, so for giving me this opportunity. Like Ananya made a great intro about myself, so thanks for that. And yeah, so just like I don't have anything else left to say about me. Ananya has made a nice intro, so why don't we like let without wasting any time? Let's move to the core topic, and I'll try to help you guys out and girls with your placement journey into product based companies. So before we get started, I just like to clear out one thing. Okay, like these are just tips and tricks matlab, that I'm going to share, but it's up to you. Like you are the person who will kind of convert that these tips and tricks into reality. No matter how many things that I teach you, it's up to you. Like, are you going to have the capacity or the will to work that hard and get change your life? If you are ready to do that, then yes, I can really go ahead. But if you are not mentally prepared, then please create that mentality, because sometimes it might be because of luck you might get a job very quickly, but to be honest, it's not easy. Like it needs some dedication, some hard work for some dedicated amount of time. So sorry. Chalo, let's start. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have structured this session into 5 parts. So firstly, I'm going to in short our preparation strategies. Then we can discuss. I'll be like talking about the practice, how to practice for product-based companies, how to manage your interviews, what strategies you can implement in your interviews, and post-interview, what are your jobs as a software developer. Like if you are rejected, if you get accepted in both the scenarios, what are your responsibilities post interview as a software developer candidate, and then we can have a short Q&A session if possible. So yeah, let's get started. So preparations, generally, like if you're like not even a fresher, like if you're from any domain, if you're like looking for software development product based job, and in a product based company, and with experience, without experience, a fresher or someone with experience, these are the topics that you need to focus on majorly. Like there are some minor and small sport topics also, but these are the core topics that you need to focus on. So first comes the data access algorithms. Second one is object oriented programming. operating systems, networking, system design, and database. So like I have kind of matlab, like DS is the core thing, especially in India. Like there's a very high focus on DSA, then object-oriented programming, because a lot of coding happens in the like product-based companies on the like on a very high level, and that's why you need object-oriented programming. You can't just do serial like mm, sada sa coding. It won't work then. Operating system is also important because it's about scale. Like coding anyone can do, but when it comes to scaling system, operating system will help you. And networking is very much important. Like we ignore networking in college studies a lot, but trust me, cloud computing works a lot on networking, and today nothing works without cloud computing. So networking is very much important, with the perspective of it will help you in your actual job. It might not be asked in your interviews, but it will help you in your job. And systems and database are the all-time OGs. Like you can't miss them, like because making scalable systems, making reliable systems is the need of the hour. Like you have to think about minimizing the database calls, optimize creating queries with like least complexity, and all those things. So these things are also very much important. So let's go one by one, and I'll try to tell you ki how which topic exactly you need to focus on, and all those things. So in DSA as a fresher, like these are the few topics I feel you need to focus on prioritizely. Like prioritize these topics over others. I'm not saying you don't study other topics, study these one because it's more likely to be asked. I'm not saying it other topics can't be asked, but 99% chances are like you will receive questions from these topics compared to other topics. So for stack, queue, linked list, graphs, and trees, these are very much straightforward question. And then these are the core data structures, and then algorithms around it, like searching algorithm, sorting algorithm, graph and tree traversal, and some special algorithm like Pascal's algorithms, Napsnack, and all those algorithms. So, like, try to do more. Like, don't. The thing is, you can't master a topic completely. Like DSA is very vast. You can't completely master it. There's segment tree. There's n number of trees like a red black tree and all those things. You can't study everything. Start with the basics, master the basics, and once you're good with algorithms, once you're good with data access, and once you're good with algorithms, even if the problem is complex, your thinking kind of like builds up, and you will be able to solve a complex problem also, even without knowing the data access that they are intended. So that's the thing. Like make your basics strong, other things will come automatically. And for other topics, object-oriented programming, I guess, matlab, like basic, you can refer Geeks for Geeks and other places to learn more. What they won't ask you very high like complex things, like whatever that you have learned in college, whatever in college curriculum, um, like inheritance, क्या बोलते हैं, and some design patterns and all those things. You can just like friend class and all those things. Some very basic level questions will be asked. So mastering the basics is important. Operating systems. So like you can refer maybe like if it's in your college course, study it with proper dedication. Don't just like mug up for the namesake. Why I'm like for the exam sake. Study it with proper dedication. Understand what exactly you need to do, and the algorithms are using operating system. So like first come first serve, it's very much important like priority given, all those things is very much important when you build systems actually. Same for networking only. Like if you like even study a college curriculum very nicely, it's very much important, especially the VPC parts, like how does virtual private cloud and all those things work exactly, why are they needed, and all those things, it's very much important. So yeah. And for system design, Gaurav sends videos are a really good source of information. Then you can also like refer to various GitHub repositories where they have documented a lot of systems. So the best part to like master system design is to go through as many systems as you can and understand the problem statement. Like let's say a company has a problem with latency. So how they are solving that problem, how's the system design. A company has a problem with like slow database, so how they are solving that issue. So when you like, the thing is, as a system is very open ended, you will not find any question specific, मतलब कि saying कि like 2 plus 2 what is 4, वैसा question नहीं आने वाला है in system design. It's very much open ended, there's no fixed answer, there's like best answer and there is okay answer, there is bad answer, and you can only master it by after like going solving multiple problems and going through multiple system designs. So that's why there are number of GitHub repositories which have system designs of various systems. So go through them, and then you will getting start getting grasp of okay how okay why do we need SNS instead of SQS and all those things, and other things also, like not even not even saying HLD, even LLD things you will learn after going through those things only. Yeah. So no matter what you do, like no matter how much you study, you will have to practice a lot. Matlab, you can't miss this, skip this step. Ki like, matlab, say ki I have done 30 courses on DSA and I will crack any good product based company. No, that's not going to happen. Be it like on the lower end of the scale or be it on the higher end of the scale, you will have to practice a lot. Like there's no shortcut for this. And for every topic, I'm not just saying for DSA, like for even for operating system you will have to spend some time. Every topic you will have to practice with dedication. So this is the kind of क्या कहते हैं, pathway that I have like suggest to everyone, like if you are preparing for uh, product based companies. And this is mostly around data access questions. Others are very much open ended, so it's depends on the person and how you want to study them. So yeah, initially okay, okay. So so for mastering DSA, I have this like strategy. I have not documented it here in this slide, but I'll tell you. So before we go on to this slide, I'll just tell ki how should you study a particular DSA. Let's say you picked up trees. Understand trees, what exactly are trees, how they work, why do we need them, implement it on a pen and paper. You like code it literally. Well, that's a pointer. Like, I use C plus, so I'm speaking with a pointer reference. Whatever language you want, you can do it accordingly. So like implement a tree, not the inbuilt functions one. Implement a tree on your own and check whether it fits working properly. Now, since we have like once you spend that much amount of time on a particular data structure, you know ins and outs of that DSA. Like you, any question that you ask, you can literally kind of go through the whole process and understand okay how I know what exactly is happening under the hood. So your clarity increases a lot. That's why this strategy helps me a lot. Now, once you have understand okay, how does a DSA work, solve a few basic problems using the maybe like it's up to you. Like you can use your own DSA implementation, or you can use the inbuilt implementation initially, and then like once you have got the okay, how what kind of questions I can expect with trees at a base very easy level, then you can like maybe up the game, go to medium levels, go to hard problems, and that way. So now once you have understand a DSA properly, this is like the kind of strategy that I suggest for practicing a particular DSA. So start with 10 easy questions, 10 to 15 easy questions, then solve medium questions a lot. Uh, and because most likely you will receive those questions only. And if you are like comfortable, go for hard questions also, because it might be very much possible that the question that you get an interview is not the question that you have seen. So why that this is where the hard questions come in. Like hard questions are like a mind opener for you. It like they will make you think out of the box. So that's why you should have the practice key. Like you should be able to solve a question that you have not seen for the first time also, and that is why hard questions are very much important. This is at a particular DSA level. So let's say for stack, you have to solve at least 50 to 60 questions. For trees, same process, all those things. Now, the same thing applies for algorithms also. Like if you're studying for search algorithms, sorting algorithms, the same strategy here also. Now, once like you are confident with all these DSA, like that I mentioned, stack trees, and all those things, and all the algos. So you have solved almost 300 to 400 problems already. And this is not a time, like you, I'm not telling you to solve it on time methodology. Like, take your time, there's no rush. Like, prepare with ease. Start early so that you can prepare with ease. Take your time, build your logic properly, there's no rush. So take your time in these two stages. Now when you come to the next stage, like when you're confident, okay, now I'm confident enough, like I can move, like up my game, move to coding platforms such as HackerRank, LeetCode, GFG, whatever you feel is good for you, but stick to only two. Don't do on multiple platforms, because you will be like, the thing is, if you do multiple platforms, you will initially solve three questions there, three questions here, three questions here, but they will be all of the same level. Whereas instead, if you solve 10 questions on the same platform, they will be of like a very different levels, and you will up your game. So that's why it's very important to stick to only max two platforms. I will personally suggest HackerRank and LeetCode. LeetCode because a variety of questions are asked there, are apparently asked in various product-based companies, and HackerRank because HackerRank is used a lot when it comes to coding interview assessments compared to any other platform. So like you will leverage both of these things eventually. So try to solve at least 100 coding problems on HackerRank and LeetCode, and with the time, try to time yourself. Uh, Try to time yourself so that you have the practice of working within a time limit. Now, once you have done this, when you receive a interview call, let's say like you receive an interview call from XYZ company, try to find questions asked in that company previously. That's our next step. Like, solve problems that have been asked in that company. Why? Because companies do follow a trend. I'm not lying. This has happened with me a lot. So I have given interviews in Morgan Stanley, Samsung, Amazon India, Google India, and all of them have a pattern. I like some of them. I like most of them where I got rejected. I realized that pattern post interview. Where I got selected, I realized a pattern pre like interview. So that's why it's very much important to identify what kind of questions you can expect from that company. So generally banks have focus on dynamic programming. It's a general observation, it might be wrong also, but what I have seen, banks have a focus on dynamic programming. Product based companies such as Google, Amazon, uh, Facebook, some of these have good amount of focus on graphs and trees. So this is one thing that I observed. So this is like very company specific. We can't generalize it, and it's very individual level approach, observation, thing. And these things keep on changing very regularly. Like at my time, Amazon was very much focused on graphs. At this time, I haven't checked out, but I don't know. But it might be different also. So that's why it's very much important to start this before the company before the company interview schedule. And most likely, like if you have done all these things as I have suggested, you might very well be able to ace the interview. So like you will be very much confident once you solve these many number of questions. Like you will be say, you will be have that attitude, okay, like give me any question, I will at least make it or break it. Like you will at least reach to a stage where the interview will be satisfied with your efforts. That's the thing. Matlab, I didn't solve all of my questions in all of my interviews and still ended of a job. With many, like I got multiple offers from multiple companies. But the thing is, ki, like the approach matters a lot. How you think and how you apply a solution. That thing also matters in these interviews. So that's why it's very much important to at least try an interview. Like, ठीक है, नहीं आता, ठीक है, but at least give it a try. Who knows? Like, you might be able to get to a solution. Okay, coming to the interviews part, like stay calm. मतलब थोड़ा it will sound naive. I was full on nerves during my first coding interview, but like try to calm down your nerves. Just remember one thing: if you get rejected here, it's not the end of the world. There's always a next company. There's always another company. कॉलेज से नहीं, ऑफ कैंपस से हो जाएगा, ऑफ कैंपस से नहीं, स्टार्टअप में हो जाएगा, कहीं ना कहीं तो हो ही जाएगा. सो डोंट ऐसा लाइक टेल योरसेल्फ कि दिस इज द लाइक मेक एंड ब्रेक ऑफ माय लाइफ. इफ आई गेट रिजेक्टेड, या इट्स एंड ऑफ द लाइफ फॉर मी. ऐसा नहीं है. देयर इज ऑलवेज अनदर company, and that will calm your nerves a lot, so don't worry. So I have this strategy, iota strategy. So whenever you get an interview question, analyze these things: input, what's the input, what's the output, talk to the interviewer, test your code, algorithm and logic first, and then code. So let's like this is was just the heading, but I'll try to explain how to actually implement it. So let's say you have a simple question: key balance the brackets of like a string that I've given. Is it balanced or not? So it's a very standard question. You can do it via stacks also very easily. So what's the input here? Like that's your stage one in this question. Sorry. So So that's your stage one here. So what's the input here? The input is a string of brackets, various types of brackets. That's your input here. Now what's the output here? Either it's a true or false. Like the string is bracket balance or yes or no. So a boolean answer. Now talk to the interviewer. Why? Because ask him like whether the string will contain any numbers between them or not. Like so that I have to like refactor my logic. Whether string have only round braces or any type of other braces also, curly braces, square braces, and other things. So these are the few things you should like think about the edge case and other things. So talk to your interviewer beforehand. You should not like start with coding and then you realize, "Arey, I forgot this use case, I forgot this use case." Talk to interviewer beforehand. This gives the interviewer a sense of detail. Okay, this guy is looking at small details, and that's a very great impression that you can put in your interview. And now once like this is the thing. Now don't directly jump to a test over. You have to write the code first. But I have to just like for the acronym, I put the test your code here. But now your next task is to create an algorithm kind of thing, not that full code, but algorithm kind of thing. To devise an algorithm, simple algorithm. Maybe step one, I'll just pass the string. Like then I will keep a check key. Maybe I'll use a stack. Then push the opening bracket in the stack. If I found a closing bracket of with same criteria, I'll just pop both of them, and that's how it works. So like try to structure it. Key step one, get an input. Step two, create a stack. Push this. Step three, compare and pop, etc., etc. So structure, just a simple structure, and you don't even have to write it as a in a proper structure. Just explain your interview. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. I mean, this is a simple problem, so it's not that complex. But when a problem is very much complex, for example, a graph or a very complex tree problem, at that time this is very much important, because if you pick up a wrong approach, you are wasting a lot of time. So if your interviewer knows okay, what you are thinking, which direction you're thinking, he might correct you beforehand only. So that's it. That's why talking to an interviewer and telling what's your algorithm or what's your approach or what's your logic beforehand will help you a lot. Take your time. I'm not saying you have to like just take tell your approach within seconds only. Take 1 or 2 minutes. Create a basic approach to what you're thinking, and discuss with your interviewers. Discuss multiple approach. Okay, I'm thinking this. I'm thinking this. What do you think should be better? And the interviewer will give you feedback. He's not a person who is there to reject you. They want to hire you. That's why they are interviewing you. So don't be like scared of them. Ask them, discuss with them. Now once you have done the logic, then only go to the code. And once you have discussed like created a discuss with the interviewer, and then only go to the code. If the interviewer says okay, like code this, then only code. Don't rush to coding. Like this is they are testing a logic, they are not testing your coding skills here. This is the very important thing that I have to clarify here. Now once you have written the code, test it. Like take a small use case, maybe five characters, 10 characters, whatever you feel is you can do within 1 or 2 minutes. Just test it, and with each and every step, write what's the output, what will the input, what will the output for each and every step. Test it, like do it as it is. Like you have not seen the code ever. Don't assume anything, and you will find some of the other mistake. It's very much likely you will find some of the other mistake, and it you can rectify it beforehand only. This is a very good thing, because you finding your mistake is times better than the interviewer finding your mistake. So that's why this is very much important. And see, like the when the interviewer says, "Ki, this guy has a like the thing for testing the code also, it puts a really good impression on him. So that's why this is a very nice strategy that you can leverage a lot from. And very much likely that you'll get a good or like most likely you'll get a decent answer which is acceptable to the interview if you follow this strategy. Now write a clean and understandable code. So like since most of your interviews are virtual, you might be writing your code in maybe a shared document, text document, or maybe a shared id. I haven't been to a virtual interview lately, so I don't know, but like there won't be any auto completions for sure, there won't be any auto indentation according to my knowledge. But still, like try to have a like nice view of your code, so it should be properly indented whenever possible. The variable name should be nice, like it shouldn't be a and b, it should be proper, like iterator, counter, first index, last index, etc, etc. And like it like these are small things but matter a lot eventually. And be clear with conveying your ideas, like don't fumble, stay calm, maybe explain him with a small example. The more clear you will be with conveying your ideas, the more likely the interview will give you a nice feedback and you can get back on track. Even if it's not the right idea or not the right approach, the interviewer will, if he understands your approach properly, he will tell you, okay, no, this is not the thing that you should be doing. This is the thing that you should be doing, kind of. And with the indirect hints. That's why it's very much important to clear your convey your ideas very properly. So I remember like one of my friends, he was very good at coding. Like gave him like he used to score matlab, long challenges and all those things. He was like almost 5 or 6 star code on code and something. But he was very bad when it came to conveying his ideas to the interviewers. So it was very difficult for him to like crack coding interviews. So that's why I feel matlab, this is also a very important thing. And yes, like the interview is trying to judge you by your problem solving skills, not your coding skills. So focus on your logic a lot. मतलब ठीक है, if you spend whole 45 minutes just on creating a better logic, it doesn't mean that you will be rejected only. It's very much likely that the interviewer like you have just created a very nice solution and you might make the cut also. So don't over stress yourself, focus on your logic, create a nice logic. Okay, moving ahead. Yeah. So this is like a what do you say, Brahmastra for coding interviews. So if you are fully blackout key, I don't know what to do here. I'm fully confused. Try hash maps. Like out of the blue, just like try to insert hash maps somewhere or the other, and you might be able to find a solution for your problem. And it has worked for me a lot in a lot of places. It's not the best way to solve a problem, but the thing is something is better than nothing. You like a not fully optimized solution नहीं मिल रहा है तो ठीक है, like you have got a solution. That's achievement in interview. So try a hash maps. And I have a blog on my medium around hash how you can leverage hash maps. This website is down currently, so don't visit here right now. But you can check out my medium, uh, and I have a blog on hash maps, so you will understand how you can use hash maps in interview as a very rare like last resort backup kind of. Okay, now so this is like the whole interview thing that you have done. Now post interview, what are your responsibilities? So discuss the problem with the interviewer. If he's willing, he will discuss a couple of things. Maybe like tell you, okay, okay, you messed up here. Maybe discuss, you could have done better or something or something. But it's more of like it should be more of a learning experience than of getting whether I did the question right or wrong. So don't worry about if it's what's done is done. So you can't change what's happened. Don't worry about that, but focus on learning from your mistakes here. Go through all the problems that you were able to solve and able to solve. Who knows, it might be asked in your next interview. And it happens a lot. Matlab, so I remember during my college placement, a guy like he got asked one question in the first interview. He was not able to solve it properly, and apparently the same question was asked in the next interview also, and he was not able to solve it again, and he got rejected. So who knows, like the question might repeat, and not for the same interview, it's very much less likely, but maybe in another company, maybe in the next interview with the same company, who knows, it might just come. So just try to go through that question. Yes, obviously learn from your mistakes, analyze like oh, ठीक है, rejections are hard. I have felt very bad when I got rejected from few companies, but analyze what you have done wrong. Like I didn't practice a lot at that time, so I realized okay, I need a lot of practice. So that's why I did a lot of practice and I got a good job. So that's why, and learning from mistakes is very much important. And yes, be polite. There's always next company. ये नहीं तो कोई और तो मिल ही जाएगी. And keep trying. So, uh, okay, I have covered almost everything. Uh, in general, I might have missed this thing. I'll just quickly recap this thing to you. So, generally, in the coding interview, the process is like you will get an online coding assessment link that will contain all two coding questions and a few MCQ. MCQs will be around the topics that I mentioned here, all these topics. Even DSA we can get an MCQ. Coding question will be around DSA only, most probably. Mostly like what I'm saying, coding will be around DSA only, and this will be the first round. Then you will have like a phone screen round wherein like you will have solve a question on a phone maybe, or maybe a video call, whatever the company sees fit. They will mostly around DSA. The later stages of the interviews will start including other topics, maybe system design, maybe networking, maybe operating system. And generally, the last interview is around company fit. So every company has a different name for it. Like some call it HR round, Amazon calls it a bar is a some call it a culture fit interview round. So it's more of like, do you align with how the company thinks, how the employees of the company thinks, and all those things. It's not tricky, but basically, do you have what it takes to be a part of this company? So it's more of like having the curiosity, having the innovation, having the will to be a part of that, or and like if you get like if you fail at that end, it's not a fault of you sometimes. So don't take those rejections on your mind very seriously. Yeah. So I guess I've covered almost everything. Like we can start with the Q&A session if you guys have any questions.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Participants, you can freely use the chat box to put up all your doubts. So I think we have one doubt.
Yeah, sure. You can add it here on the
Yes,
screen.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been added. Which is more important, competitive coding or developmental skills for product based companies? If competitive coding, then why?
There's no clear answer for this. So I'll tell you why. So there's a company, Razorpay, which hires people with a lot of development experience, especially web development. Like if you're really good with web development, you'll get hired very easily in Razorpay. Whereas there are companies like, the core hardcore software development industry, which focus a lot on your coding skills, a lot problem solving skills. So it depends what kind of company are you looking for. And the thing is, don't like make it in this way ki, I want to go into this company, that's why I need these skills. I'm good at this skill, that's why I'll go into that company. Make it the other way around. So if you're good with development, look for a development job than a coding instead of a coding job. That's what, like, in today's scenario time, we have this opportunity, so why not leverage it? I'll suggest. So do this thing. And as a if you're looking for, just like if you're good with average software development, I'll suggest key make a proper balance between all those things, projects and coding. uh, but at the end of the day, they are going to judge you on your interview, so coding does have a edge sometimes, but having good and interesting projects will also help you anytime.
That's great, sir. That's great. So, any more doubts, participants? Yes, there is another doubt. In CGPA matters in our campus placements. If it's that so, then what is the minimum CGPA required for sitting in the product based companies?
Okay, so it's not a like make or break thing. Generally companies have a cutoff kind of thing. So some most of the companies have a cutoff. Some companies prefer high GPA students. um, it's their ideology, I don't know why, but some companies do prefer, but it's generally a cutoff. Most of the time cutoff is around 7.5 to 8, sometimes 7 also. So safe side I suggest like have a pointer of 8, because it keeps a lot of options open for you. Matlab, if you want to do any further studies and all those things, 8 is a very safe CGPA. Trust me, it will help you a lot. Like not some other hardcore thing, but let's say if you matlab, in future if you think okay, I'm not with coding, I want to do something else, maybe an MBA, a low pointer will really hurt you then. So having a CGPA of 8 plus will really help you. And very it's very less likely that having a bad CGPA, matlab, let's say like even if you made the cutoff, you cleared interviews and they have rejected you on the basis of CGPA, it's very much less likely. I'm not saying no, it's very much less likely. And every company has their own criteria, but it's generally around 8 plus. Yeah.
What is
Okay.
the best way to interact with an interviewer?
So, to be honest, I didn't get this question properly. Like, as in, like post interview, you are saying or pre-interview? I didn't get, but I'm assuming this is post-interview. So, like generally, you have 45 minutes to 1 hour time slot for your interview, and after that, like just maybe ask him, sir, I have a few doubts about my session, and if he says no, okay. If he's good and he's like willing to talk, don't take more than 5 minutes and just ask quick doubts. Ki, okay, how was my interview? Where do you think I could have improved myself? Such questions. Don't diverge a lot. Don't like ask CTC and all those things. Focus on the interview only.
What kind of projects should we work on which can be added in our resume? Also, should we do group projects more or individual projects?
Okay. So okay. Okay, so projects are important. I will suggest like that this depends a lot on your domain. So what kind of domain are you aiming for? If you're aiming for web development domain, projects around web development are a good option. If you're aiming for AI/ML domain, AI/ML projects are needed. If you're looking for general software development, all those like AI/ML projects, web development, database related projects, these are some good projects. And try to have a deployed version of them. This is like a tip that I have to give ki don't just have a local version ki locally kar diya ho gaya. Maybe like there are many websites, for example Heroku, you can deploy apps on Heroku and you can have a URL of those things. Deploying is also another skill. Like you need to understand how those things work. Working production is completely different from working on local environment. That's why that is also very much important. That puts a leverage on your projects compared to other projects. And I don't think there's a big problem with group projects and individual projects. Do whatever you feel fits for you. If like you find a good if the project is big enough to have a group, go with a group. But the group, it should not be like one person is only doing all the job. It should not be that scenario also. So whatever you feel is comfortable works, but having 3 4 good projects are more than enough. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Then do we have something called system design round? What is it all about and what should we prepare for it?
Okay. Generally, if you're a fresher, you won't have this round. They will ask you, it will be a part of your interview. Maybe just one question, or it won't be a full fledged interview, just system design, most likely. Um, and okay, so you want me to explain system design in short? Okay, so I'll tell you an example. So Cowin portal. Cowin portal is where like you can see everyone is registering for the COVID vaccination slots. You can also see the dashboard and all those things. But have you thought about the scale of that project, like website? Almost 100, like India has a population of 1.5 billion people. Until now, around 90 crore people have registered on that portal. So the thing is, 90 there's a limit of the system. You can't matlab, if you make simple login page and host it on a server, 90 crore people can't directly if not simultaneously, but at least you can assume that 5 crore people will hit that registration page at a time, and the server will crash immediately if you are just having a simple website or simple server. So you need to have some kind of scalability key. Okay, when like request increase, I need to have multiple servers to manage all those all this traffic. Then I need to have my processing system quick enough so that I can manage the data of all these people. I need to have a database fast enough so that the dashboard is updated as soon as possible, and all those things come. So what we learn in college is like just a fragmented part one, but when we put all those things together, lot of things happen. So like I'll tell you just one example, short. It's other than the COVID portal. So I'm working on a project where I have to work with SQL queries, and the SQL query, the database is so huge. Like it's at this initial stage, it's at 10 million rows. I have to run some on that that database. So if I don't optimize it, if I don't what you say, optimize those things, properly arrange the resources, the query will might run for hours also if I'm not it's not optimized. So that's why it's very much important to have optimized design of your system. So yeah, this is like a very brief understanding of system that I can do. But do check out Gaurav Sen's YouTube channel. Like you will learn what exactly systems and how to learn around it. Yeah.
Then we have in today's time, there is new upcoming technology almost every day. So, how
Mhm.
to keep ourselves updated with it in order to stand out from the rest of the crowd?
Okay. So like no one is asking you to get the latest projects and latest skills on your resume. Like uh, don't get the outdated skills. Like the thing is, no one today uses like some outdated stuff which is that language. I don't even remember its name. But okay, let's not go there. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, there's new frameworks of JS coming in every day, but if you understand Node.js, you can easily adapt to any other framework. If you understand one framework properly, you can easily adapt to new frameworks easily. It's not a big deal, and no one is asking you to do everything. The thing is, when a product or when a framework comes into the market, it takes years, not sometimes years to get adapted into a company ecosystem. So it's not key today it came and tomorrow it's being used in a company. It's not like that. Now coming to skills, yes. So a couple of years back, cloud computing was not a must requirement, but today it's a good skill to have. So these are the well, it's not it's a vast domain. So having a basic knowledge, working with 2 3 cloud computing skills will also help you. So try to get the skills which are relevant to your job. Not okay, don't do it for the sake of having all the skills. You can't have all them. Try to get skills which are relevant to your job, and which can help you get a job. So yeah.
Thank you, sir. That was a great answer. Which year should we actively start preparing for interviews? How do
Mhm.
we know when the big companies' internships forms come out? This is the
Okay.
biggest question we all have.
Okay. So ideally, I'll suggest start in your second year. Reason being, second year, uh, you can spend the whole second year preparing for your interviews, because if you like do it in a staggered manner, daily 1 hour is more than enough. If you do it for 365 days, it's more than enough. Now coming to the part why second year, in third year generally you have internships coming up. So in third year, you it's a very if you are fully prepared in second year, it's very much like that you might get a good internship in third year. Now uh, generally what time okay so what time do so companies have to come to a campus in the like third year. If they are not coming to a campus, then companies have off campus internship opportunities. So if you are aiming for, let's say if you are in third year and if you are aiming for internship after your third year, like the vacation between third and fourth year, the applications will start coming out around month of October, November, December and Jan. So this is like the period for the 2 months internship. If you are aiming for a 6 months internship, the timing is a bit earlier. So if you are aiming, like let's say the 6 month internship is starting in Jan, so the applications will start rolling out around April, March to June, July. Till that time only you will find your get your internship. This is like, and keep actively looking for job portals, like maybe create alerts, uh, and etc. You can like, for some website you can create alerts, and there are many LinkedIn pages and Instagram pages and Telegram groups who actively post about like hirings and all those things, so you can leverage that key to identify which company is hiring, and when and what are the requirements, etc, etc. uh, yeah, this is like my suggestion for you guys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was very helpful. Sir, could you tell us about your journey and how you became what you are today?
Okay. Okay, so I studied. I'm originally from Nasik, Maharashtra. I did my 11 12 here. I prepared for IIT. Failed not miserably, but missed out on IIT very closely. But somehow I landed into VJTI. From a very young age, I was into computers a lot. I used to like. I even got a chance to go abroad. Unfortunately, I couldn't go for computer Olympiad finals. But yeah, like I was very much into computers from a very early stage. So when I came to VJTI, like VJTI, when I came to VJTI, that was like in my first year. That was the time when I actually started coding for the first time. So it was not like, yeah, I coded prior. I started coding for the first time, and I really got hooked to it. So uh, I like went into a lot of clubs. I did a lot of projects, explored a lot of things. So initially, I made a robot, Arduino robot, and some soft algorithm project in my first year. So that was like my first big project. Then in second year, I like started. I interacted a lot with my seniors around placements and all those things. So like that helped me a lot to understand how actually this works. Like I didn't have this kind of knowledge, so though they helped me, and I started early, and that helped me a lot. So from second year mid, I started preparing thoda thoda, धीरे धीरे से. But actual preparation happened after the company started coming, because we are humans. We will start preparing at the last moment only, no matter what we do. So and eventually I got an internship at Amazon India after at least 4 or 5 rejections, and I got interned there. It was a really interesting internship. Then I eventually got a pre-placement offer from Amazon, and I'm currently working there for almost 1.5 years. And okay, and the coming to the part where like why I'm doing all these seminars and why I'm writing blogs and all those things. So one second, huh? Sorry. So yeah, the thing is, like at that time I realized, like when I got my job, I received thousands of requests from people like telling how did you get a job, what did you do, and all those things. At that time there's an information gap between people. Fortunately, I got that knowledge from my seniors and my friends, but there's a lot of people who don't get that info, and that's what I'm trying to do, like trying to fill that information gap and helping people out. So yeah, and I haven't achieved anything great till now. I'm just like sharing my knowledge, so there's nothing as a great. So ठीक है. Thank you.
Does open source contributions like GSOC make huge impact during interview rounds?
No, मतलब not a huge impact, but impact, yes. uh, like, but not a huge impact. Like it will not, it's not a make and break thing. So not a huge impact, but it will help you a lot in your interview. You have a discussion point in your interview. So yeah, but not a big thing, game changer thing.
Okay, sir. What can we do in the first year for a good placement in fourth year?
Get a good pointer. This might sound as a naive or out of the box, but there's a logic behind it. Improving pointer in engineering is tough. Matlab, I had a very bad pointer in my first year, and I had to spend a good amount of time in my upcoming second, third, fourth year to increase my pointer and get it above 8 at least. So it's a difficult task if you mess up in first year. uh, like that's why I tell you, get a good point in first year, and if you get a good point in first year, you can focus on other things. You made your preparation, made your other further studies prep, whatever you want to do, but that helps a lot. So that's why it's very much important to get a good pointer. And first year is too early. First year, just get the hang of basic things. How does coding work? Is even coding a thing for me? Like most of people start coding in first year, so just get a good pointer and learn on basic coding. Yeah.
What is the most important skills for a software engineer to have?
uh okay, so first thing is key, I feel, is not giving up. This is very important. Matlab, during preparations also, during problem solving also, and during the actual job also, you have to explore a lot. You have to like have the curiosity attitude. Find out what can be done, if not by this way, if then that way, what are the solutions to solve that problem. So you have to be very much curious and willing to solve complex problems. That is, this is like this, I don't know, matlab, like, but this should be inbuilt. You can't embed it within someone. And other thing that I think was key, like dedication and hard work is like you can't matlab, without that you can't. Technical skills, I don't think as a like, they might get outdated within years. So technical skills, they'll come and go. Coding skills, if you are good with one coding language, you can adapt to any coding language. I was I used to fear Java a lot. Matlab, I hadn't touched Java forever in my life, and when I started my job, I have got so good with Java, like I can't even tell. So if you're good with one coding language, you can adapt to other languages very quickly. It's not that difficult. So technical skills, I don't think play a huge role, but they are going to keep coming and keep going. But these things, like having the curiosity or attitude, having the dedication and willing to the hard work, like trying to solve problems, that attitude needs to be there from within. You can't force it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Those were really informative and insightful. It's a great guidance for all the students, I'm sure, and everyone has to take a lot of things back from this session. So, we are really grateful to have such an amazing and insightful session on such an interesting topic and very useful topic. I'm sure all the participants have learned a lot about this field and definitely have a lot to take away from the session. I, on behalf of the entire team of IEEE WIE VIT, would like to extend a very hearty vote of thanks to our guest speaker for gracing your important work and being with us for the webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for asking such interesting questions, and I also enjoyed interacting with you. Thanks, VIT, for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you to
bye.
all the participants for joining.